Hello and welcome to episode number 271 of the Launch Lounge podcast. Today we're going to talk about split tasting and most importantly, split tastes that double your launch revenue. I'm going to show you what to taste, how to taste it, and why the tiniest change might just be your next biggest moneymaker. Don't worry, I'll keep this non-techie, but let's dive in together. Hello and welcome. I hope that you don't feel the way that I felt when I was a newbie in this space where I felt like if somebody gave me one more thing I have to add to my to-do list, I'm going to scream. The idea of today's episode is not to give you more things to do. The idea of today's episode is to help you do the things you're already doing a little bit better so that you can get closer to having more conversions, which means you make more money, which means you build your freedom empire. Split testing is the fastest way to increase your results known to any marketer, right? The more you can build a habit of split tasting things, the better you'll be able to keep changing and keep tweaking and keep optimizing so that you get better and better and better results. It's like having a friendly competition between two ideas. And you were going to send out one idea anyway, but now you might just send out two ideas and see which one wins so that you can then just run with the winner next time. So you send version A to half of your people and version B to the other half. And whichever one gets the better results, ding, ding, that's the winner. And that's the one you use next time. And next time, you try to do even better and introduce another split test and see which one wins. This is not about being perfect. It's about opening your mind and opening your marketing arsenal, your marketing suite to curiosity and saying, well, how can I try to do just a tiny little bit better at speaking in a way that my audience can hear me better? So speaking more in a way where my audience can feel seen and heard and where they convert better. And then using some data to make those decisions. One of my clients, let's call her Jess, was recently getting really low open rates on the emails she sends to her audience to sign up for her webinars. So we worked on the split testing of her subject lines in her emails. One of the old subject lines was, your invite to my free webinar. Now, there's nothing wrong with that subject line, right? But if you're the person being invited to something, would you be more likely to respond to something that made it about you or something that was about the marketer? You're more likely to respond to something that makes it about you and the benefits you want. So one of the split tests, one of the subject lines we test was 3 launch mistakes you don't know you're making. 3 launch mistakes you don't know you're making. Now, why did this work better than your invite to my free webinar? A, because it was about the person who was reading, right? It's about them. B, because it induces curiosity. Oh my goodness, am I making a mistake? I've got to click on this link and read this email so I can discover this mistake that I'm making that I didn't even know that I'm making, right? Version B got double the open rates. Double. That's an insane increase in conversions. And as a result of that, she ended up getting way more email registrants for her launch without paying for it because they were already on her email lists. So why does split tests really matter? It matters because that's really where those easy changes live that we can make without too much extra effort. And In doing that, we can increase our conversions one little bit at a time. You already have the funnel. You already have your course. You already have your launch dates. You're already scheduling emails. You're already creating landing pages. You're already doing all these things. So adding in a tiny little split test isn't going to be that much more work, but getting the results of that split test might end up doubling your conversions at the bottom of your funnel. With a few tiny tweaks like a subject line or a button or a headline, you really can skyrocket your results. So here's a split test of sales page headlines I want to present to you. The original headline on the sales page was Join the Pinterest Growth Academy. Join the Pinterest Growth Academy, all right? Now, what I see in that is I see a feature, Pinterest Growth Academy. That is a thing. It's a what, not a why. But growth is a benefit, right? Growth is a benefit. But growth is abstract. So we want to make it a little bit more specific. So we played with it and came up with triple your traffic using Pinterest in 30 minutes a day. I mean, duh, you already know which one won, right? But the reason the second one won is because triple your traffic is a specific outcome. Using Pinterest, that's again the what. In 30 minutes a day addresses the objection, I don't have time for this. So we've made it super easy for someone to know that this is likely to be possible to be achieved by them in 30 minutes a day. And we're going to triple their traffic. It's way more specific than growth. So when I'm speaking to students or clients and I'm telling them about copywriting, I'm always going, how can we be more specific? Growth is non-specific. Triple your traffic is specific, right? So that second line converted so much better and increased sales by 4. All right. Here are a list of 7 split tests that I think you could consider running in your next launch. Now, you don't have to run them all. In fact, maybe don't run them all at the same time, but run some of them. Choose 1 or 2 and run those. The first thing you want to test, and this is something that like every time I have a conversation with someone and we're like, okay, you're not seeing results in this area. Are you split testing subject lines? No, I'm not. Okay, great. Number 1, split test your subject lines on your emails. Every single email that goes out from my business, the subject lines are split tested. And why wouldn't I? Because I have automation software. I use ActiveCampaign right now. I'm moving away from them, by the way, and I'll let you know where I move to when I've got it in place. But I use ActiveCampaign, and ActiveCampaign allows me to set up every single campaign we send out as a split test. And the reason I do that is so that I can create 2 different subject lines and make sure that the one that gets the, straight out of the gate, the first 20% of emails that gets opened, whichever split test gets opened more in that first initial blast, that one then gets sent to everyone else, because that way I can continue to train my audience to open my emails more, and I train Google that my emails are opened. All right. So your subject line is that first foot in the door. And you want to try to play around with creating more curiosity and with specificity and clarity. All right. Another little tip I'll give you here is I like to start subject lines with first name. So whatever their first name is, you can use, autofill tagging sort of thing where you just put in ActiveCampaign, it's like a percentage, first name percentage, and that is like a tag that then inserts the person who you're sending the email to, their first name. And you have to make sure that you have their first names on file, right? But it makes a huge difference when the subject line has their first name in it. So split test something with their first name in it. Your webinar replay emails, let's say you wanted to split test those. Instead of sending out an email that says, here's the replay, test it against something like, don't make this mistake in your launch. Again, can you hear the curiosity in that? What? I'm making a mistake? Excuse me, let me check this out. All right. The second headline, number B, don't make this mistake in your launch, is going to kill it because it teases value and it triggers curiosity. The second important thing I want you to split test is your webinar titles. Webinar titles need to speak to outcomes that your ideal customer really wants and address objections to things they really don't want, right? So maybe this could be an example of an old webinar title, launch your course in 2025, right? And then you can split test that against launch your online course in 30 days, even if you have 0 followers. So why does number 2 work better? Number 2 works better because it hits on their biggest fear, and that is starting from 0 followers, or their biggest objection, or their biggest, it might not even be like a clear objection to buying, but it's something that holds them back. It's something that they're sitting there going, yeah, this isn't for me because I have 0 followers, so I'm probably not going to succeed at this. That is a sales objection. Anytime someone believes they don't have what it takes, that's an objection. So you might want to address that. So I'll give you that example again. Launch your course in 2024 for a webinar title versus launch your online course in 30 days, even if you have 0 followers, right? Do you see the specificity? The third thing that you can split test is your sales page headlines. This is what makes people either scroll to read the rest of your page or bounce off of your page. We don't want bounce. We want people to stay on our sales pages as long as possible. Perhaps we had a sales page with a headline like an online course for coaches. Something like that. I mean, that's a terrible headline, right? And we could test it against get clients from your Instagram DMs without ads or dancing on reels. Get clients from your Instagram DMs without ads or dancing on reels. We're addressing things they don't want to do, things that they object to, and we're giving them a very specific promise. Get clients from your Instagram DMs. When you can induce curiosity like that and speak to a desired end result, a specific desired end result and a specific objection, like I don't want to grow with Instagram DMs because I don't want to be dancing on reels all day, right? The one thing and the other one is not the same. So you can address those. Then you will get more people to click to your sales page. And that's where you have the opportunity to explain to them how you work in order to help them get those sales. If you're ready to start scaling your business, get back your time and step into your freedom empire, listen up. I'm excited to share that we've got just 2 spots opening up in our VIP client level in May. We're taking on 2 new course creators in the Launch Lounge marketing and ads agency during May. And honestly, we are pretty pumped about what we're offering. Here's the deal. We don't just run your ads. We're your go-to growth partners who look at your whole marketing picture. The best part? We've built some really cool AI tools that our clients are loving. These tools help spruce up your launch copy so it actually connects with your audience. They make your webinar content way more engaging, and they spot those missed opportunities in your sales process so you can turn more viewers into buyers during your launches. Our clients tell us they're finally getting off that exhausting launch roller coaster. They're seeing sales come in consistently and getting back precious time with their families. If you're already making at least $100K per year, have an offer that people love, and you're committed to doing the work to scale, we should definitely chat. You've built something awesome. Now let us help you grow it without the stress. Just head over to thelaunchlounge.com/agency and apply. But don't wait too long. Those 2 spots won't hang around. Number 4, the fourth thing you can split test today is call to action button text. The words on your button actually matter. Now, I want you to know that if you keep your words to either commands, like buy now or join the program, and you add in there the benefit that they want, like, yes, I want more clients, or sign me up for more traffic. When you can add in that benefit, you might increase click rates on your call to action buttons. Now, the reason I say might is because when that text gets too long, it loses the power of being a call to action button. So you're going to test what works for you. Taste things like commands, buy now, start now, begin now, get it now. As soon as you're in a position where you can comfortably afford to offer a payment plan, and the reason I say comfortably, the reason I say you first have to be in that position is because a lot of people want to offer payment plans before they're in a financial position to actually afford those plans, because they want to make it easier for people to buy. If you cannot sell your course at full price, then you cannot sell your course. And putting a payment plan on something you cannot sell is not going to sell more of it. It's not the solution to the problem. You need to address the real problem, which is I cannot sell my course. I do not have a good offer. People are not taking me up on my offer. And of course, you can listen to this podcast for hundreds of hours of content on how to increase your offers, right? But I want you to, once you're in a position where you can actually offer payment plans, which also means that you can afford defaults, people who are going to default on that plan, then play around with different payment plans. Maybe it's a 3-month payment plan. Maybe it's a 6-month payment plan. Start with shorter payment plans first, but taste it and see if you can get some more sales by including a payment plan. Now, if you're brand new to this, I want to recommend the best way to split test this is run your launch with your full price. And then in the last 2 days of your launch, announce that there is a payment plan. So you get everyone who's going to buy anyway first. And then you use that payment plan to help those people who really, really want to buy, but genuinely need some help affording it, to then afford it at the payment plan. The 6th thing you can split test is bonuses that you offer people to help them get off the fence, right? And there are different kind of bonuses that you can split test. So let's say you were running a test to see if 30 Canva templates versus a private bonus coaching call converts better. Now, you might think that instantly the private bonus coaching call is going to convert better, but that's not always the reality, because sometimes people don't necessarily want that level of intimacy that is the equivalent to the problem that they're solving, right? If I'm buying Canva templates, I don't think I need a bonus one-on-one coaching call. I'm going to be a little bit like, yeah, no, you're going to waste my time. I don't need to sit down for an hour to learn how to use Canva templates. So don't think it's necessarily always going to be the thing that has the proximity that is the thing that makes you sell more. But there is a certain time and a place where that proximity to you and getting more of your time will help you sell more. And typically, this could be at the beginning of your card open phase, where you are introducing your best fast action bonuses. Fast action bonus, because your time is finite. You can only sell so many bonus coaching calls. So keep that one as something you use in the beginning. Or you could introduce it at the end as a way to overcome objections, but taste it. Again, maybe you want to taste Canva templates versus bonus coaching call versus community versus checklists versus added videos, or versus something that's going to solve another problem for them. But split test your bonuses. Try, see what happens. Do one on one webinar, and then another one on the other webinar and see what happens. The seventh split test you can run is your ad creatives. Now, this is usually the one that everybody wants me to talk about. Everybody's always like, tell us what's the latest in creatives with ads. And it gives me the heebie-jeebies because it doesn't matter. Really, it doesn't matter. If your creative is connecting with your ideal customer and that creative is generating memory in terms of how many conversions it's built up, then you're teaching the algorithm who the right person is for that conversion, and you're building up account mojo. And that mojo that us course creators, when we run ads, build up is worth way more than constantly changing our ads, constantly changing, because we want to change the creatives. A split test that I do want you to run with your ad creatives that you can easily do when you set it up is set them up as dynamic creative ads. When you set up your ads as dynamic creative ads, you use 10 copy options, 10 images, and 10 headlines, right? I think that's the amount of number that you can put in there. And what I would do is I would create a ad set that has all ads with just images, and an ad set that has all ads with just videos. So effectively, I'm split testing images versus videos. And I'm setting it up as dynamic creative so that I give the algorithm 10 options of headlines, images, and copy, or headlines, videos, and copy. And it's going to make an infinite amount of number of combinations of those 30 things, however many 30 of 30 you can make, right? And as soon as people then start reacting to whatever the winner is in terms of headline, image, video, copy, then those ads start to become publications, and you can pull those ads into separate ad sets and separate campaigns and just run them separately at the end. But I like to run split tests for video versus images because I find often that my warm audience might prefer video, but my cold audience might prefer images. And you just don't know. And it's nice to have both running at the same time, so you can split test those. Here's the thing about data and tech and how to set all this up and how to track all this. It does not need to be a headache. You don't need to be a data nerd to do this. I want you to start with testing just one thing at a time. Write down what the result was that thing got before the split test. So let's say it's email open rate, a subject line open rate. You write down on a simple spreadsheet, today's the date. This is the result I got. Next time you split test it, let's say a week later, a month later, 3 months later, and then you write down what was the result it got then. It is a simple writing down of numbers exercise and then choosing the winner. Run your test to at least 500 people or for at least a few days, like a week, right? If it's ads. But run it at least to 500 people if it's an email that you're going to do. And track the open rates, the click-through rates, the conversion rates. Track all of those numbers so that you can genuinely choose a winner based on the data. Your email CRM will help you with this. Your ads manager will help you with this. Your landing page software should be able to help you identify how many people landed on a page and how long they stayed there. So use the tech that you have and use what's available to you to get that information. Some tests will matter more than others. It's like I say, a lot of people get very hung up on testing ad creative. And I want to say ad creative is the last thing you should be testing. Test the promise of your course outcome first. Make sure your offer is hot. Make sure people resonate with the outcome you're promising that you're going to give them in your course. Taste your positioning first, your messaging, that voice of customer data that you use when you speak about their pain points and their desires so that you create deeper connections with your ideal customer so that they end up not just saying, I see you, but so that they say, whoa, you see me. Taste the emotion in your copy. See which emotions work better. Taste different stories, different metaphors to make the same point. Maybe one day you're testing, learn to host a webinar versus turn your audience into buyers, even if you hate selling. And that's the day you realize, there is so much power in split testing different things because I get to be curious about what's going to work better for my audience and how to get better at writing copy that really lands for them. All right, here's your mission. Pick one thing in your funnel that you can test this week. Email subject line, webinar title, juicier sales page headline. Try just one. Just try it. Track the numbers and see what you learn. And watch how those little tweaks start to stack up in your favor. Before we wrap up, I want you to imagine something for a second. What if just one small change, one subject line, one headline, one big bold button was the difference between your next launch breaking even and blowing past your revenue goal? The data doesn't lie. It never does. And when your gut is whispering, you're ready for more, use data to know exactly how to get more. You already have the course. You already have the audience. You already know how to launch. So now it's time to unlock the next level, one little split test at a time. Because this is how you build momentum. This is how you create certainty. And these tiny, smart, strategic moves is how you're going to build your freedom empire. If this episode helped shift something in your thinking or gave you that, ooh, I'm trying this moment, send me an email. Email me at podcast@thelaunchlounge.com. I want to cheer you on, and I read every single email. And the episode coming out this Thursday is called The $2 Million Problem They Didn't See Coming. And you are definitely going to want to tune in for this one. I'll see you on Thursday. Bye. Before you go, if today's episode helped you, imagine how many more lives could be transformed if other creators, coaches, and experts found these strategies too. Your shares and reviews help more course creators discover how to get their knowledge out into the world. Please take a moment to rate the show and leave a quick review. When you do, we get to reach more people and we make a bigger impact together. Because when more people who help people succeed, the world becomes a better place. Thank you.